Hey guys, here's your notes on impulse. Impulse is a new concept, but we've been talking about force and time, and when one goes up, the other goes down, and that's kind of the idea with impulse. So, impulse definition: when an impulse is applied, an object will change momentum. So, if you apply a force over a period of time, that's what an impulse is. Then an object changes its momentum. So impulse is basically that force in time, which is the cause of a change in momentum. Remember, force, the unit for force is newtons, abbreviated N. The unit for time is seconds. All right. So when you combine those two together, you get the unit for impulse is NS. All right. All right. So impulse, it's force times time. When you multiply those two together, the product of those two equals impulse, and the unit is NS. Not N over S, just N times S is the unit. Okay? And the important concept with impulse is safety devices, such as an airbag, such as bending your knees when you jump and you hit the ground, or giving when you catch something. All these cushioning safety devices, you can write safety cushioning devices, they're the same thing. They do not change impulse. Alright? So let's give you an example. So if impulse is force times time with no safety device, the force will be really big, right? And the time will be really small. Right, so you have an arrow next to force saying it's really big, and no safety device, no airbag, it hurts. Why? Because you stop very quickly in a small amount of time. But if you add a safety device, what does it do to impulse? Well, it makes the force go down, so adding an airbag reduces the force by extending contact time, so you get a big amount of time when you add a cushioning or safety device. So when time goes up and you extend contact time, less force, and they do the opposite, and that's called an inverse proportion. Force and time do the opposite of each other when a safety device is added. But do they change impulse when they multiply them together? No, because when one goes up, the other goes down. They end up multiplying out to the same result, being the impulse. So, say if the time was, let's just throw some numbers out. The time is 3, some really simple numbers, and the force is, I don't know, this is a big force, right? So, force is 10, right? Then the impulse is 30 ns, right? But a safety device does not change impulse. So if the time goes up, say it doubles to 6, when a safety device is added, you have more time extending the contact time, then the force goes down to 5, and still 6 times 5 equals 30. So your impulse, did it change with the safety device? No, because when time goes up, force goes down, and they multiply out always to make the same result. Safety devices like airbags, they make time bigger, but they make force smaller, so the impulse stays the same.